Hello, and welcome to the RSO Roundup. I'm Sheriff Chad Bianco. I'm joined here by Sergeant Albert Martinez from our Media Information Bureau, and this is our inauguration into our new podcast. This will be our first one, so I promise you all that we'll be doing better as we go along, but we'll do our best to struggle through this first one and hopefully get some more viewers for the next one.
This is exciting. It's exciting for us, for our department, a podcast, and we're going to be able to get that message out there to as far as what people want to listen to, people want to hear. So
it is. This will be the place for everything RSO. We'll talk about our department. We'll talk about the issues that we're facing. We'll be highlighting some individuals from our department, some special teams, and we'll also be covering topics that the public wants to hear. So we encourage you all to DM our social media pages and request different topics, whatever you want us to discuss or what you need information on, and we will cover them in our upcoming podcasts.
Yes, definitely.
Very good. I'm not sure how often we're going to do these. I think we're going to do them a minimum of once a week, but maybe we'll get to a point where we're doing them more often or at least as needed.
I think a lot of people don't realize how busy the sheriff of Riverside County is.
That may be true, but I'll do my best to fit in, an hour or so a week, or maybe a couple of weeks. We'll figure it out. We're gonna make sure we take care of the public and make sure we engage and make this as best we can.
And our apologies. I know we have kind of been teasing the county and all our people that follow us by saying, hey, we have this podcast going, and we've had some technical issues just because we want to make it perfect.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's a lot of podcasters out there, and you can probably stick up for us and say that this is not as easy as what it seems, and we didn't want to do it cheesy. We wanted to do it right. We wanted to do it nice, how you should be doing it, and we ran into a lot of problems. We're cops. We're not media folks, so we tried to struggle our way through, and it ended up working out.
And here we are.
Here we are.
All right. So I guess we should start with our first topic as far as introducing you, who you are, why you're here, and you're the sheriff. So tell us, why did you decide to become sheriff?
Well, that's an interesting one, taking us back. But I think everyone in our lives, hopefully most people, you try and make things better. You want to make things better. And I was getting toward the later part of my career, and throughout my career, we always talked about doing things different, what we should be doing. The public was starting to get to a point where they wanted something different from law enforcement, and I just felt like we weren't doing it. And you get to a point where, well, if no one else is going to do it, it might as well be me. And that's what really drove me to wanting to run for the position. And ultimately, here we are. And then I find it's one of those things where careful what you ask for, because I got dropped right into the lake, and we had to start swimming, trying to figure out how to get out of it. But we've done great the last couple of years trying to change the department around, make some things different, be a little bit more public friendly, be a lot more transparent. We want to do everything we can to build the community's trust that we're here to serve, and I think we've done that very well. We've done major changes in the department that I thought coming in that we weren't real fiscally responsible in how we spend taxpayer money, and I found that was true. And we've made great strides in trying to remedy that and do the best we can with the money that we're given to provide a better service to the county residents. And I think we've done a pretty good job so far.
I would say you have.
Obviously, we're not done. We come to work every day trying to make something better, which, just like this podcast, we're trying to make things better. We're trying to give the public something that they don't have from us. We can be more open. We can be more transparent. You can learn that we're just normal people like you, and we've got a job to do. We've got a mission to keep public safety, and we're going to do our best to do it.
Now, in being the sheriff for Riverside County, most people don't realize it's not like being a chief. You actually hold several hats, which include the coroners, the public administrator. Are you busy with those functions of it? There's a lot going on there.
Yes, the coroner public administrator position is something that every sheriff in the county does, or in the state doesn't have. There's only a few of us that are also coroners. So I'm also responsible for that bureau, the public administrator. And while they may run themselves, I still have to oversee it, and I'm still responsible for it. So while I may not be doing, thankfully I'm not doing the doctors work in these autopsies, but I'm still responsible for them. So it's a big responsibility. It's a lot of extra work. It's a lot of knowledge that I had to gain quickly to figure out everything that we're doing. And there is our department. A lot of people don't know exactly what we do. We have the patrol function, and everyone sees patrol cars, but a lot of people don't realize we have the coroner and public administrator. But then we also are responsible for all of our courts. That's a huge part of our mission, and then all of our jails. We have 5 jails in the county, roughly about 3,800 inmates right now. We're going to go a little bit over 4,000 once that Indio jail gets completely opened. But we're a very, very large county. We're just shy of 4,000 employees, which makes us one of the largest sheriff's departments in the country. And a lot of responsibility, but it's fun.
It's fun.
There's never a boring day.
Now, as far as, you have all these people that fall under you. I mean, your vision of the department moving forward, or even just when you started, what was that?
Well, I really didn't know what to expect. So there was an unbelievably big learning curve. My sheriff's administration, we've got an undersheriff, 3 assistant sheriffs, and 6 chiefs. So they're responsible basically for the day-to-day operations, and then I oversee it and basically are responsible for the whole thing. But so there's a lot of information that's being brought to me daily. There are a lot of things that just the regular operation of a department this size, and then making it be a 24/7 law enforcement makes it even more interesting and more to do. So luckily in our department we have very, very competent and capable administrative staff down to our captains of all of our stations, lieutenants and patrol supervision. And then obviously what makes the entire thing work is the deputies. Our correctional deputies and our patrol deputies are really what run the department. Without them, we couldn't function. And unbelievably proud of the work that they do day in and day out. And it makes my job a little bit easier.
Now, you mentioned corrections. I know that there's been some major changes within corrections. I mean, something that, I think for years was in the works. It just never really happened. Tell us about that.
A little bit unique to our department is we had deputy sheriffs and correctional deputies working in corrections doing the same job. So a sworn deputy sheriff is one that is supposed to be out in patrol. You and I, that's what we are. And that's what we expect to do when we come to work. But for our department, for our county, we've always had deputy sheriffs working inside the jail alongside corrections. Deputy sheriffs who are supposed to be out on patrol get paid more money than a correctional deputy. So it didn't make sense to me, and I don't think it's made sense to a lot of people in the past why we would waste that money, pay 2 people the same, different amounts of money to do the same job. So coming in, that was during my campaign, that was one of the things that I was running on, is saving millions of dollars in our corrections bureau just by transferring the sworn personnel out to patrol and making it all corrections, inside corrections. And we've almost done that. We have about 130 deputies left that are still working in corrections, but we're rotating a minimum of anywhere from 40 to 60 every 6 months, and it seems to be doing well. So we're hoping that by the end of next year, that transition will be complete. And it's roughly anywhere from, depending on any given day and any certain time, it's about $18 to $22 million difference operating corrections with just corrections rather than patrol. So huge savings. We can allocate that money to other places where it's needed. And internally, it's a big morale booster for all of the correctional deputies that are in corrections. They now have a complete career path, all in corrections. So it's been a good driver to recruit and also retain our employees. Deputy sheriffs, we're lucky here. We have a great county that we work in, and the residents really do love us and appreciate us, and so recruitment for us has been relatively easy. We haven't had to put forth much effort in recruitment. We have people knocking down the door that want to come and work for us, so that's working out well. Staffing wise, we're doing very good. We can always use more, and if any of the Board of Supervisors are watching, keep that in the back of your head. We need more. But we're doing very well with what we have. We've restructured a lot of our special teams to get more out of them without needing more money, more personnel, and things are working out good.
Cool. I know you mentioned about people interested in joining our department. If you guys are interested, join RSD. That's our hashtag on all our social media. We also have joinrsd.org, as you can see there, which one of the things you highlighted and is very true is a lot of people when they come over now, whether it's a lateral or even just a new pre-service or even through our academy, that means that they're not going to, if it's a sworn deputy, they're not going to do that much time in the jail.
Right. Eventually, right now it's about a year and a half before you get out, and eventually we'll be down to 0. When you get hired by us as a deputy sheriff, you will be being hired for a patrol function. We also have a bailiff for our court services division, where we have court deputies that are basically bailiffs, but we're a different terminology that we're using, and that's saving us money in the courts. So with our correctional deputies, our court deputies, and then our patrol deputies, we have 3 different classifications of deputies in the department, and depending on what you get hired for, you'll go straight to those rather than having to sit in the jail for several years and then wonder when you're going to go out to the assignment that you chose or that we hired you for.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, I was a lateral here. I was very lucky to go straight to patrol, but there was that chance that I was taking that, you know what, I probably would end up working the jail initially.
Yes.
Eventually, I ended up going there once I promoted, but it's a great experience actually to work the jail for those that haven't done it.
And it's an eye opener.
Oh yes,
it's
completely.
A culture. For some, it's a culture shock. It was a culture shock for me. I grew up in a different state, in a different place, and when I came here, I assimilated into California, and it was all fine. I was in the construction business for a little bit, and then I worked for an auto dealership in the service department. But when I came to law enforcement, my first assignment was in the jail, and I'm telling you, it was a culture shock. I didn't realize that there is a segment of our population that really doesn't think like the rest of us.
Correct.
There's a lot of different opinions on corrections and criminals, and they want to call them different things and make them a victim, but they don't think like we do. The people that we have in custody, they have different lifestyles, they have different beliefs, they have different morals, and that was a very big eye-opener for me. Major culture shock. So I can see even you experienced the same thing.
Oh,
so
yes, definitely.
There is a benefit for working in corrections in that environment. One thing that I started, you mentioned about laterals. For laterals that are thinking of coming to our department, you do not go into the jail anymore. You will go straight to a patrol assignment. So we did change that.
It's funny you say that because ever since you came back and became our sheriff now, how many laterals have we had that actually left our department and came back?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
And it's nice to have them back. They were leaving for... we had a problem in our department for many years, and we were losing a lot of good people. We were losing a lot of good people to early retirements, to other departments, and it's very nice when they come back. Very nice when they come back. We're all proud of where we work and the job that we do. So to bring them back to our family, it's pretty nice.
Which kind of brings me to, we had talked this offline in regards to our badge. Our badge changed. Now it's a little bit different. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, we did. We made a lot of changes. One of the problems in our department was we had a really big morale problem, and there's many ways to change morale, but sometimes you just need a different look. And we changed our uniform. This uniform that I'm wearing, we didn't have before, and that was a big deal to employees. And it's more comfortable. It's cooler in the summertime. It's more comfortable when you're out in the hills. We have hills that we're running through and chasing people. So those types of little things make a difference. And one of the things I did is we changed the badge. So it looks the same, except it used to be blue and now it's green. And as simple as that sounds, it's we take a lot of pride in our appearance, in our uniform, and we're making this ours. And so even to where when you're trying to change a culture, trying to get rid of that past into something new, if you change it all and now we have something new, and then we're able to make it what we want instead of trying to, it just doesn't feel like it's rolling from before. It's a fresh start, and I don't know. We all say we bleed tan and green, and I think that really is true. So it's nice to have nothing against our blue brothers and sisters out there, but I think the Sheriff's Department needs a green badge, and we did it, and it's been a big hit. It's a
big hit, and hopefully, just like it's been a big hit, hopefully this podcast is a big hit. We're looking forward into coming up with different topics, highlighting different people from our department, like you had said earlier, hearing from the people that are watching and listening to our podcast. What is it that you want to hear from us?
Right. And I want to tell the public nothing's going to be off limits. This is about us engaging with the public, and we want to answer your questions. We want to talk about the things you want to hear, whether it's crime. We're even going to, at the dismay of some, we're going to get into politics because we're at a point in California and in even the country that for me as a law enforcement leader and all of the chiefs that I talk to and the other sheriffs, some of our biggest concerns are laws that are being passed. It's not whether or not we can retain and hire and things like that, and how we're going to engage with the public. We know all of that, but how we keep them safe is being really hindered by the last several years of politics. And so we are going to talk about that, and I'm going to tell you some of the things that we need to change in this state in order for us to be able to keep you safe. My number one job is to keep the public safe. My goal, I don't want to say I'm a perfectionist. I think I'm very competitive, though. And I want to have the best sheriff's department in the country, and I want Riverside County to be the safest place in the country. I want to attract people here from everywhere because they want to live in a place where they know that they're safe, their kids are safe, schools are safe, and that is my ultimate goal. So in order to get there, we have to change every day. We have to adapt with the community, and I think this is part of it. So with that, we're going to be talking about politics on what we need to change and how that's going to make it easier for us to serve our public. We'll talk about different divisions in our department. We'll talk about really everything. People. I want to highlight some of the employees that we have in the department, just so the public. I know the majority know it, but you never see the human side of law enforcement. We're all moms and dads and brothers and sisters and coaches and everything else. Pastors. I mean, we're just like any other. We're just regular people. This just happens to be our day job. And I think that when we humanize that, the move now is to demonize law enforcement, and they want us to be the enemy of the public, which everyone knows we're not. And so I think by humanizing it and doing these types of things to highlight us and to get us out in the public, I think it's going to be a success, and I think people want to see it. So with that, for all of you again, we will talk about anything that you want. You just have to let us know. Any of our DMs, you can. It will be forwarded to us, and we'll figure out how we're going to make it work and who we're going to have to get special guests if we have to. I've already had a couple of people reach out to me wanting to be guests on the show, so we'll see how it works.
Well, Sheriff, we need to tell our viewers and our listeners one more thing about September 11th.
Absolutely. So September 11th, 2021 is the 20th anniversary of 9/11. We all know what 9/11 is. Some of us were working that day. Some of us were in the military that day. And we have some employees that responded to help. And it's something very important for our country. And for this year, I've authorized this commemorative patch. We designed this, an employee designed this patch. And it's authorized for wear on our uniforms for the month of September. But for the public, we are offering this for sale to you also. So starting September 1st, any member of the public can pick up one of these commemorative patches for $10 each, and you can get them at our Leaps store,
which is leapspx.com. All the information would be there. They'll mail them out to you. So make sure, I know we do get a lot of questions from people asking for our patches. You could also get them from there. Anything that's commemorative, those are available there for sale.
Absolutely. Within law enforcement, these patches, our patches are a tradable item. There's a lot of people that do trades with different departments, and they're a collector's item. So a collector's patch, which this will be, is certainly something that's going to be sought after, and we're proud to have it. And I'm going to be very proud to see our employees out there wearing it for the month of September.
And I think this is going to be a very popular patch. So
I do too. So you need to hurry fast. September 1st, they go on sale.
And thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching. We are looking forward to making this podcast even better. As you had mentioned earlier, this is our first one. So
absolutely. So share with your friends, share on social media, tell your friends in person, and we look forward to seeing you again and hearing us again on the RSO Roundup.
We'll see you soon.